What happens when you do your part? Think about that for a minute. So doing your part, is that something that you did when you were with the narcissist? Of course it was. You did everything you could and you went above and beyond the call of duty. You wore your heart on a sleeve. You shared information with them. You were committed. You were devoted. You were transparent. Also, you were naive. You were vulnerable. You were a clean slate. You were what was known as the new supply. You didn't realize that narcissism existed. You weren't taught this in school. So how could you know that the person you entered the relationship with had disdain for you? How could you know that that person didn't have the ability to love? How could you know that that person had no empathy? And how could you know that that person was an empty vessel, a sinking ship with a huge void within them? The narcissist is nothing but a copycat. They're a mimicker. They are a grifter. They're a thief. The narcissist is nothing but a person who will worm their way into people's lives, infiltrate people's lives, if you will, and they will do their best to destroy that person's life and anyone's life that is close to that person that they can get their grubby little fingers on. Now, the narcissist knows what they're doing. If you think that they don't, you need to think again. And if you think that the narcissist did not know that you had something or many things that they wanted, again, you need to think again. Way back when, before the internet and the smartphone, most of us had no idea what narcissism was. The few people that did, probably no one was listening to. Now we have the internet. Now we have the smartphone. Now you are understanding, you are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and you're realizing that, yeah, you've done the best you could do. There's not one more thing you could have done for the narcissist and for that relationship. That relationship had an expiration date, as they all do. It was going to end when it was going to end. There was not one more thing you could have done about it. Being in the narcissistic abusive cycle, it is akin to experiencing death by 1,000 paper cuts. Now, I've shared that for years in videos because it's true. Picture, if you will, a slice of a paper cut going into your skin every single day for years, decades. Well, that does damage. And it's the kind of damage that nobody can see and no one knows that you're experiencing other than you. You probably thought that you could handle the toxicity. You probably thought that you could fix the narcissist, or that they would improve, or that tomorrow would be a better day, etc. Well, you now know that those days never arrived and the narcissist never improved. Quite the contrary, they only got worse over time. And they continue to take you for granted. They continue to devalue you. They continue to pepper you with abuse. And they continued to have you doing things for them. Once you did whatever they wanted you to do, let's say on a daily basis, what would they do? They wouldn't say thank you, give you a big hug, and tell you that they loved you. They would look at you and give you another endless to-do list. Probably, they wouldn't even look at you. They probably would just hand you a sheet of paper like that. See, this is what the narcissist does. The narcissist knows a couple things. 1, that they're a fraud. 2, that they wear a mask. 3, that they're always looking for the current source of supplies replacement. And 4, that these people are going nowhere fast. I'm referring to the narcissist thinking about themselves. They can ride this thing called life for 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 years, but the narcissist knows their days are numbered. The narcissist also knows that they don't have as many places to hide these days. The narcissist also knows that many people are beginning to put up boundaries and beginning to not communicate with them more and more and more. You see, the great unwind is taking place. The collective consciousness of the empath is rising higher and higher. The narcissist who ran the planet for all these years has nowhere to go to any longer. And you may think, well, no, they're actually doing great. They're not. Everything, and I mean everything, goes full circle. If you are interested in a couple of different topics, of which I will address in future videos, one would be the turnings, the 4th turning, if you will. You should look that up. We are entering one. Want the truth? We've been in one for quite a period of time. And this turning we are in, it is really, really going to do a lot of damage to the narcissist. Now again, do I wish ill will upon anybody? No. Am I going to start now? No. Is the narcissist going to get what's coming to them? Yes, they will. Will it come at the hands of a human being? No. It's going to come at the power or at the hands of somebody much greater than a human. But the narcissist knows that they can't do what they used to do any longer. They try, and they continue to triangulate and gaslight and rewrite the past and do whatever they can do. but their days are completely numbered, which is why when you do your part, like you did when you were in the relationship with a person who was committed to not being committed to you, play that again, and you kept on doing the best you could to try to fix an unfixable relationship, and then you got discarded because most likely that's what happened, and you had no idea what narcissism was. You put yourself back together because you figured out what it was eventually, and you healed, or you're healing. What did the narcissist do? They slithered off elsewhere, just looking for other sources of supply, thinking that it's just another day in their life and they're going to continue to just rebuild and regroom and retrick and retrap and all that. Well, those days are almost over for the narcissists, plural. And you may think, well, not really. No, they are. You see, the generational curse breakers, of which I am one, we are now rising. We're rising through the ashes like a phoenix. And all the goodness that we've done on this planet to this point in life is coming back to be reaped, or I would say it's harvesting, if you will, becoming harvested, but not only by yourself, but by others around you. Remember this. There are 3 versions of you. The first version of you is who you were before you met the narcissist, a clean slate, naive, vulnerable, trusting, and you didn't know what you know now. The second version of you is who you became when you're in the narcissistic relationship, trapped, isolated, and abused and manipulated. The third version is who you are now, the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. Now, if you're not there yet, you will be. But what I'm sharing with you is you're different. Once you enter that third version of yourself, which is where I am, and I've helped so many other people arrive at the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference, when you arrive there, you will be in awe. You will be in disbelief at how plentiful, how bountiful, how beautiful, how spectacular it is. Now, am I painting a rosier than accurate picture? No, this is reality. And if you've arrived at the mountaintop of indifference, drop comments. You know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who are still working on healing and cutting the 4 ties, the emotional, the financial, the physical, and of course the spiritual tie of the narcissist, continue to focus on yourself. I, at one point, was one of you. Now I pay it forward by creating videos each and every day. But one thing I can assure you about you, and I can assure you many things about you, but one for this part of the video, is you were committed in that relationship. And there's not one more thing you could have done to extend that relationship with the narcissist. Because when that ended, it ended when the narcissist deemed that you had nothing else to give them, or they couldn't take anything else from you, or they had a different source of supply lined up, or something pivotal happened. Maybe they retired, maybe you lost your job, you had a health concern, the kids graduated university, whatever it was. But when you do your part, like you did when you were in the relationship, and now you fast forward and flip it. You do your part with yourself and with those loved and trusted ones around you. This is post-relationship, after you've healed. You will find out that doors of abundance get kicked wide open for you. Doors of opportunity are presented to you. And doors of possibilities are laying right there at your feet. Many people I've worked with over the years during one-on-one sessions have experienced this. I am one of those people. Did I work with myself? Of course. But did I counsel myself? No. I had to put myself back together against all odds during the pandemic, isolated, trapped, left for dead for 2 years and 2 days. Way back when, and you should know the time frames, when I mentioned the certain period of time during the pandemic. But all those things equal one part of this video. I've healed. You are healing, or you've healed. And when you have the ability to help pay it forward post-narcissistic relationship when you've healed, that is an amazing thing to do. It's a spectacular ability that you now have. You see, you've unraveled or unwound or discovered one of the keys, one of the laws of the universe, which is what narcissism is at its core. You've also been trapped in a cycle, and you didn't want to be, you didn't know it, just like myself, but the truth is you were in it. Now that you're out and you've healed and you know what the 3 versions of yourself are, you can actually pay it forward if you wanted to. This is why over the years I've suggested this is when you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, travel the world again, fall in love. You can create a YouTube channel. You can do whatever you want to do, but you will do it if and when you are ready. Nobody can tell you when you will heal. If you think for a minute someone can tell you you're healed, you need to think again. Only you will know. When you will know? When the time is right. And you may say, well, that's not a lot of wisdom. Are you kidding me? That's the most wisdom you'll get in this video. You need to understand everything in this journey called life is about you. It's not about the narcissist. The narcissist brainwashed you. The narcissist steered you away from your potential. The narcissist hoodwinked you, trapped you, tricked you, kept on reinforcing the trauma bond with you. When you broke that, no matter how you broke it, I'm referring to the trauma bond, the narcissistic abusive cycle, and exiting that relationship, you had to really discover an awful lot about not only narcissism, yourself, mindset, toxicity, and energy. These are things your average human being will never do because they don't have to do these things. These are things I would have never done if I weren't trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle and then discarded and had to put myself back together. But when one is forced to look inward into the mirror of themselves, I'm not referring to narcissism, I'm referring to healing, just like I had to do. When you have to put all that energy that was going out the window into the narcissist, into extended family members, into paying bills and all these things that you were doing to a person who was a sinking ship and a person who actually had disdain for you, when all of that goes away via discard or however your relationship ended, and all that energy now goes back into you, the sky is the limit for you. This is why I've been creating videos for over 5 years. This is why I've changed. This is why my lexicon has changed. It's why my appearance has changed. It's why the speed of my words has changed. It's why my educational level has changed. It's why all the research I'm putting into different rabbit holes of education exploration has been massively diversified even in the last 3 days. And I will continue to pay it forward to help you, because you need to understand that narcissists are everywhere. This is your life. You need to cut them out of your life as soon as you possibly can. And this is why you must do your part, like I've done my part, and so many hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions now of people have done their part also. When you remove yourself from access to toxicity, that means it's one less avenue that toxicity has to creep into. When I remove myself from toxicity and you do your part and other people do their part, there are 2, 3, 4, 500, 10,000, 5 million, 8.3 billion avenues that the narcissist cannot slither into any longer. This is why you need to take this extremely seriously. This is why you need to continue to watch videos. This is why you need to understand it wasn't your fault. There wasn't one more thing you could have done. That relationship was doomed. It was going to fail any way you look at it. Think of everything you did from the minute you met that person until it ended. And then think of everything that they didn't do that they told you they would do. See, the narcissist will promise you everything and they will deliver absolutely nothing but a relationship you need to heal from. If you knew this way back when, could you have avoided meeting that narcissist? Possibly. Would you have met a different one? You would have. That's why you need to understand that what happened, happened. I am not doing anything other than letting you know, get toxicity out of your life. Do the right thing. Go no contact. Block that person. Block those people. They are sinking ships, taking time bombs. They all become the aging narcissists, and they all get worse and worse and worse. And if you think for 1 minute that these people improve, you really need to watch this video and watch it again and again and again. The narcissist will never improve. They can't introspect. They can't reflect. They can't be accountable. They can't own their mistakes. What they need is they need other people to take the toxicity that they want to dump into them and have those other people be blaming themselves for the rest of their lives. This is why you need to go no contact. And this is why you need to understand that there's not one more thing you could have done. That relationship was doomed from the minute you met them, just like mine was. Now, again, if the narcissist, with the day you met them, if they walked up to you and handed you a 2-page report and said, this is who I am, read it. This is what I will do to you. I'm going to destroy your life. What would you have done? You would have said, thank you, but no thank you. You would have said, lose my number. Don't ever come back here again. I don't know who you are, and I want nothing to do with you. But that's not what the narcissist did. What the narcissist did is they slithered into your life. They were similar to carbon monoxide, death by 1,000 paper cuts. Before you knew it, you were in the deep end of destruction, in the cesspool of manipulation, in the minefield of misery. You were trapped in a place you didn't even know existed. That's why once you get out, you need to not tempt fate. You need to maintain your boundaries, go no contact, and you need to do your part. If not now, when? There are so many people who have gone no contact, and so many people whose lives have improved when they got activated, when they finally got the message that the narcissist doesn't love them, doesn't care, and they care about nobody other than themselves. I'm referring to the narcissist. Once you realize that you were carrying the weight of another person's problems, burdens, toxicity, frustrations, and inability to regulate themselves, you have to cut that person off yesterday. That's why this is exactly the relationship you need to heal from, and you need to stop thinking that the narcissist did love you, they can change, they will change, or they do care about you. They care about nobody, only themselves. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Couple things. One, I love this location. I hope you like it, but I love it. I love the background. This reminds me of another country I used to be in. And on top of that, I want to share this with you. Do your part. As I opened the video, when you were younger, or maybe before you met the narcissist, you would probably, most likely, always go above and beyond the call of duty to do the best you could do. Example, you see a piece of trash in the ground, you pick it up, you throw it away. You could give someone a ride to the grocery store, it's what you do. You weren't keeping score, you weren't keeping track, you weren't in competition, you weren't asking for gas money, you weren't doing any of that. You were doing what you could do because you want to help people out. That's what I do every single day. Well, the narcissist saw that and they said, wait a minute, you're not going to help other people out. I'm going to lasso you in this invisible leash. You'll be helping me out, and I will keep you subservient and trapped in the dungeon of horrors, the trauma bond, and you'll never even know it. That's what they did. That's why you need to understand, once you see it, you need to get away from it as far and as fast as you possibly can. There are so many people who are trapped in these cycles, relationships right now, and they think they know what they're doing. They don't. They need to get out. Getting out is the best solution for your clarity, for your mindset, and for you to really understand that that person never, ever cared about you. They just wanted access to you. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.